So, where do I even begin? In this video, I'll be talking about the three main things that I probably are on everyone's mind right now. First of all, what are Runestones? Why are they a thing? What's the point of them? Now, the second thing, the pay-to-win aspect to Battlegrounds, what the impact is going to be on the game, what the impact currently is on the player base, everything about the pay-to-win stuff, and then the third thing, which is the future of Battlegrounds, where this is going, what I think Battlegrounds is going to head towards, and whether that's scary or not, whether the game is gonna die. So I prepared a bunch of info here to talk about. So let's get started with Runestones. First of all, there was very little info in it. Like, these patch notes were really big and there was like almost no explanation. This was the best explanation we got, which was pretty trash. Basically, I'll explain to you the system, how it worked. There was gold and that's it, and money. So you could buy stuff with either in-game gold that you can farm, and some stuff that is purchasable with gold. You can also buy with actual money with transactions. Some stuff you can only buy with money, like some bundles are not available for gold. Now, Runestones is basically just replacing the transactions, so the money. So now with your money, instead of directly purchasing from the shop, you'd have to buy Runestones and then buy it. So it seems convoluted and it seems like an unnecessary middleman, and there's reasons why it's implemented, good and bad ones. We'll see which ones apply here, but basically that's the simplest explanation I can give. Some stuff will be available with Runestones, meaning you can't farm it. Runestones are not available any other way, so you can't use your gold for those. Yet there are still going to be things that are available for gold, and you can still farm gold. You can still also, I think, buy them with Runestones. There's stuff that's going to be purchasable with both. That's the best I can explain it and the best I can understand it. Now, why do games typically use virtual currency? So there's a bunch of articles in this if you want to look into it, a bunch of cool videos on this as well. Like, I think Genshin Impact does a pretty good job of implementing this to extract a lot of money out of players. So that's why a lot of people are scared seeing virtual currency, seeing this being introduced in the game, because the first reason is that it kind of turns it into play money. Your actual money loses its value as soon as it's transferred into virtual currency. So a lot of these games, you spend, let's say, 20 bucks on like 20,000 gems, and then those gems get used for this, and it gets very convoluted. And so when something is available for 326 gems, you're like, okay, I don't know how much money that is, but I'll pay for it. So you kind of lose touch with how much money you've spent in the game. That is one of the applications. Now, I don't think this directly applies to Hearthstone. So Slysssa, who is one of the Hearthstone features lead, mentioned three important things that we should know about Runestone. So that the prices are not changing. Runestone prices are based on US pricing, so there's no weird conversion here. $1 is 100 Runestones, so it's pretty easy to know. If you buy 50,000 Runestones, you know you spend €50 or $50 in the game. So it's not going to be super easy to lose track of like how much money you have in the game. You see your Runestones and the conversion is made pretty easily. So that's good, at least. There's like no weird shady stuff going on there. Now, another shady thing that they do very often with currencies is that you pay for like 100 Runestones, let's say, but then a bundle is 95, so you pay for that and you have 5 Runestones left that you can't use for anything, meaning the company gets more money. This happens quite often, but as Slysssa also pointed out, we've chosen the Runestone bundle sizes to exactly match the top selling products and minimize wasted Runestones. So whenever there's going to be a bundle in the shop now for standard, let's say $60, apparently there's going to be a bundle for 60,000 Runestones, meaning things are going to be still the same than you used to be. So far, I see no shady business or no harm in this. Of course, it seems a bit weird to have to buy something else to then buy the bundle, but I don't think they're trying to deceive players yet with, you know, these two things out of the way. Now, they say the most top selling products, so that means that a lot of products might not get in a matching bundle, and you also can't choose, I'm going to buy this exact amount of Runestones. No, the Runestones also, I think, are going to come in bundles. So that you could end up wasting some Runestones depending on what you buy. Now, another thing that a lot of games do when they work with virtual currencies is, like, again, Genshin Impact is a great example. They have like this one thing you can buy and that can convert into like gems and then into stars, and you have all these different things you can own, and then you go into orbs, you can craft this, and like you lose track of where your money is. You have like this many of all these different currencies, and you only paid for one of them once, and you basically don't know how much you spend and how much your stuff is worth. Battlegrounds or Hearthstone so far only has one, that is Runestones, and I guess gold, but they don't interact with each other. But then why, right? A lot of people are like, why do we need this? If there's like no changes pretty much, what is the point? Let me try and explain the best that I can from the info that I have. So they allow for smaller product sales like individual Battleground skins or emotes. I might think, okay, why? And I think Daniel Duffin explained it well. He is also on the Blizzard team. The charging cards more times creates a lot of headaches depending on the shop. Remember that we have PC client, Amazon, iOS, Huawei, which can all have purchases on the same account. Runestones make those purchases more secure, easier to track, and less expensive. So apparently there's a lot of fees as well. Like if you pay with card, there's gonna be a lot of lost money. There's also Apple Store, and basically it's just they gain more money from it. You basically still spend the same amount of money technically on the game, unless some of that shady business happens, which doesn't seem to be the case right now. So you are not going to lose money, but the company is going to gain money because they can bypass a lot of ways that they would lose money in the transaction. So like for example, if you want to buy 2 bundles now, you can just buy once a massive amount of Runestones and use those to buy those 2 bundles. Again, less transaction costs. And as Celestial mentioned, smaller products, and they can now offer like a single skin, which normally costs $1, but on transaction fees, it would not be worth to do it because I don't know how much it is. Like they might lose 50 cents. That's just an example, right? So they make like no money on it, but now it's going to be way bigger because you buy more Runestones and you can buy more smaller things of it, less transaction cost, all that bullshit. So it seems like more of a change to, well, obviously get more money on the company side, which makes sense, but that's the best I can explain it. The sad thing also about Runestones is that gold becomes pretty useless now because, well, a lot of things are not purchasable with gold, but only now with Runestones. So all my grinding I did, my 20,000 gold that I have for Battlegrounds, pointless. So with this information, you can choose your own opinion. Do you think Runestones are bad or good? I think they're still convoluted. I don't like seeing them in the game, but so far I don't see any harm done, and it seems like it's just a way that the team could get more revenue, so hopefully they can support the game more. We'll just have to do an extra step along the way. Now moving on to the pay to win aspect of the game, which is maybe a bigger discussion because I think that is the most important one. I don't think it's a secret that the game is pay to win. So let's say these are 4 hero options. Yes, beautifully drawn, I know. You just without paying, lose 2 of them instantly. If that is not pay to win, I don't know what is, because the odds of you getting higher win rate heroes on average is going to be lower. So on average, I think JKREG did the math, you know, if they look at, I don't know exactly how he did it, but you lose roughly 3.36 MMR per game if you only have 2 options instead of 4, which I don't know how much that seems to you, but that is relevant. Like you can just use the sentence pay to win, and it has such a big impact because you do need to pay to get a strictly competitive advantage. How big or how small it is does not really matter. I think it's just the fact that it is a thing, because in top play it will matter. It always will matter. If you're a competitive player, this is just a fact now. And I want you to think of how many heroes there are in the game. There's currently, with the 2 new heroes added, 86. There's going to be 86 heroes in the game, which is insane. Which, besides the pay to win aspect, it also is going to take a lot of fun out of it. Because if, let's say your favorite hero is Patches, the fact that you now might have to wait over 40 games to just get to play Patches once, because, well, you get half of the options, that sucks. Like, you are not going to be able to play your favorite heroes or fun heroes anymore, because the pool keeps on expanding and expanding, and you're just not going to get them offered. Even with 4 hero options, it's not likely that you get your favorite heroes quite a bit, but still. So even though pay to win is a big aspect, also the fun is just going to be downtuned a lot for people that don't want to spend money, because again, even if you don't care about the competitive advantage, it feels horrible to only get 2 options instead of 4. That is like so fundamental to Battlegrounds. There's no way that you can grind anymore to get better heroes, no way you can stack up gold, you just need to spend money. I understand where the outcry comes from, and I do agree with the general sentiment that this should not be a thing. Now, one argument that I saw some bit in my comments, but also on Twitter from other content creators, which is kind of strange, is this, which I'm gonna just take this example comment. If you can't afford $10 or $20 every 4 months, try leaving your basement. And money is something 10-year-olds can earn from mowing their neighbor's lawn. And I think that's a stupid argument, because yes, I think almost anyone can afford, let's say, like $5 a month a subscription for Battlegrounds. I think you watching probably have that money that you could spend. It is not about that. It's not about being able to actually be able to pay the money. It's about the fact that we got this game mode for free. We got to play competitively at an equal playing field for free for years. This is now like a 2 or 3 year old game mode, and now suddenly having this introduced feels horrible. It's like something is being taken away from us. And also it's a subscription model. Even if it's $5 a month, if you play this game 1 to let's say 3 years and you keep paying for this, that's gonna stack up to a lot of money, more than if you buy a couple like AAA games. This is gonna end up being a big money sink. That's just how the subscription model works. So it is not necessarily about the money that you actually have to pay. It is about the fact that you do have to pay money in order to get an advantage and to have fun, while previously everything was free. So I think this is a very bad argument that I saw quite a bit also from people that, again, I wouldn't expect it from. And the last thing I want to mention is also in Discord I asked about what people thought of it, and another good point is that if people want to play their favorite heroes, they're just going to concede a lot of games. If you're at a rank floor 6k for example, and you want to play patches, then you'll just be conceding every game until you get it now, and you'll have a lot of ghost lobbies, so we might see more people just instantly leaving at the start of games just because they have 2 unplayable heroes. At least in lower ranks I think that's gonna be a lot like the case, and that is not helpful for the game, obviously. But technically, yes, you can still play casually. I know I still have friends that would probably boot up this game like once or twice a week and play with 2 hero options because it doesn't matter to them. So the super casuals might not care too much because they don't play the game much anyway. But I don't think that's the majority of what I can see. Now the third point, also really important one, is the future of Battlegrounds. What does this Runestone stuff and this new pay mechanic mean for the future of Hearthstone? Battlegrounds specifically, but I think Hearthstone as a whole, because Battlegrounds is such a big thing of Hearthstone. Well, if you watched one of my 2 latest videos and you check the comments, I think it's gonna give you a clear example of how people feel and what the general consensus is. A lot of people seem like they're just gonna be quitting and they're just upset, which is fair. So same, if you open Reddit, like it's just a shitstorm. I'm scared to just scroll through this stuff like this. The Battlegrounds Season 2 update is actually a good thing. I've been spending too much time on the game lately, and now I have no reason not to uninstall it. So every post here is about people quitting and about just, you know, the stuff happening. So a lot of concern for a good reason, but everyone is talking about quitting. I want to talk about a really important thing, and that is the people that we hear of and the posts that we see are the most engaged part of the community. So the core audience is all upset, and a lot of people are going to be critical about this. But again, we got to remember that Hearthstone is a very casual game, played very often on mobile, played by people who don't spend money on it, or not a whole lot I should say, and they are not going to be on socials. Like a lot of people that I knew casually, like from the years when I was in university, that just played Hearthstone, they played it like once or twice a week on their phone when they were bored. They are not the ones that are going to go on Reddit, on YouTube and comment about this, or quit necessarily because of a small update like this. In their eyes, this might seem small. So a very big part of Hearthstone Battlegrounds is the vocal minority. The vocal majority that we see right now everywhere are the ones that are actually really into Battlegrounds, which is, I mean, clearly you need to keep us. If you quit and if the community dies, because this is the close community that Battlegrounds has fostered on socials and just everywhere, then the game is definitely gonna downtrend and just die as well. And keep in mind that the people that don't talk, that do not care too much about this, they're also probably not going to pay for the pass. They're just going to play casually, and they're not going to spend money anyway, so Blizzard doesn't even gain anything out of them. So it seems like a lose-lose for Blizzard. Like, the hardcore community seems very upset. The people that are very casual and are not upset are not going to pay for it anyway. We'll have to see where this goes. Another thing I want to bring up is this seems like a yearly cycle. Every year it feels like the world is ending. Last year was Mercenaries. Everyone thought it was going to be pay to win. It's going to be the end of Hearthstone. Everything, all the resources are going to go there, and it's just a money grab. But in the end, after like a couple weeks, it blew by. It's now kind of a dead game mode and nobody really cares. The year before that, I don't really remember what it was, but I remember being very scared as well of Hearthstone. I made a video about the future of Hearthstone as well. It was about the esports stuff, some drama about money, prizes, about, I think it was a blitzchung situation. Anyway, Blizzard was going down and everything was gonna die. Yet after a couple weeks, maybe months, life went on. I don't know if this is gonna be the same situation. It feels like the world is ending once again, but I'm hopeful that maybe this is not true. Maybe in a couple of weeks it's gonna blow over as well. Maybe they revert something, even though I'm not super hopeful for them taking back what they did here. But all I'm saying is that we've seen many ends of Hearthstone before, and I wonder if this is gonna be the real end, because this is very different from the previous situations, having players actually now actively having to put their wallet out instead of just random accusations or random things that don't personally affect them. This is a bigger deal. You're actually actively hurting the player base. So this seems more real than the previous years. again, we'll see. Maybe this will blow over. Now, I do want to put a positive note in this as well. Now, Minder asked where all of this money goes to, because obviously they're going to make more money of this if it works. So what is going to be done with that money? So John, who is the lead designer, I think, yes, of Hearthstone Battlegrounds, mentioned that the team has been steadily growing over a year now in anticipation of these system changes. The amount of content we make has also been gradually increasing since Kibler. Kibler was a pretty standard update compared to all the previous ones. They've been adding a lot new minions than the buddies update with 75 buddies and more patches than Naga, and then 10 more minions in a minor patch. So they seem to be constantly upgrading and doing more and more. And to sustain this, they didn't have enough money just purely of cosmetics, so that's why I assume they're going with this direction instead. We have better key art starting in 24.2. We have a number of quality of line changes such as armor, damage cap, and showing transforming hero powers. Can't spoil anything yet, but I'm excited for the cool stuff planned in the future. They seem to just be wanting to do a lot of stuff. Like Gia, for example, also recently is going to become part of the Battlegrounds team. If you didn't read it yet, she did a live update where she basically explained that she was a caster for Hearthstone for a while, and she's an amazing Battlegrounds player as well. She is going to do amazing, so I am still hopeful. Like, they're still recruiting cool people like Cora, who joined, was it like 2 years ago by now? They seem to really care. Like, the devs seem to really put a lot of effort in. This is definitely just something from higher up, but we'll have to see, because again, if Battlegrounds wants to work, they need to first of all remove a bunch of heroes, balance heroes. There's so many unplayable dead heroes in the game right now. With two heroes only instead of 4, it's gonna be just even more awful. Please just balance the game properly. Then if all of this money and all of these changes go through, please, we need to see something happening. If this goes through, if the battle pass and runestones happen and nothing changes, the game is probably gonna go on a downtrend and probably die, and I don't know if I can continue playing. Like, I've been on the fence of leaving Battlegrounds a lot as well, and over the years a lot of different things, but I always bounce back. I always still kind of enjoy making content here, and I have fun. I really like this community. But if people just leave, and if things are gonna keep downtrending, then I don't know. It's scary. Maybe I'm over exaggerating, could be, who knows. But if we see actual changes, that we see more effort being put in and the game flourishing out of this, then I have hope still. Anyway, I'm gonna close it on that. I hope I was thorough enough with, you know, the currency of runestones, with the pay to win aspect, with what I think the future is trending towards. If you enjoyed it, you know, let me know, and please have a discussion down below. I think it's interesting to read. I read all of the comments on the latest video. I do kind of regret it, because most of the comments are just the same, just people complaining. So try and keep it constructive down there. But thank you for watching, and I'll hopefully see you in the next video.